All right, Jim. You look at some of these Hall of Fame semifinalists. Every time I see a list like this, I think of you. You are a Hall of Fame voter. You take it seriously. You're really into it. I look at two guys here. I would think, I'm not asking for your vote right now, but I look at Darrelle Revis and Joe Thomas. Yeah, they shouldn't have anything to worry about. Joe Thomas, only thing he had missing in his career was competitive teams. But as far as a great player, great, one of the all-time greats at his position, extremely consistent. And I feel like even right now, he could give a team like 22 good snaps per game. So what do you think about some of these semifinalists? Any of them jump out to you? Should be there, shouldn't be there, should be in? I see one who should have been in a long time ago. But what do you think?
Go ahead. Who is that?
I see it's not just because he's my colleague, not just because he's a friend of mine and yours. Rodney Harrison, in my opinion, is a Hall of Fame safety. And I can't believe we're here in 2022 still saying he should be, and we know that. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
I've been preaching that for every year since he's been eligible. And the thing I say that people don't realize, they remember from his Patriot days, he may have been a better player in San Diego than he was in New England, but because their teams were so bad, people didn't get a chance to see him. Rodney Harrison, without question, is a Hall of Fame player, no doubt. And if you want to, we get people who want to compare numbers, compare his numbers to Brian Dawkins, for instance. And if I were to put up blind resumes of the two of them, you would have a difficult time telling one from the other. They're that close. So no question he should be. The thing that's interesting to me about this list is that there are 10 returning finalists from a year ago who are now part of this semifinals class. So if you try and do the math and say, okay, let's say those 10 return to the finalists, make the cuts to be finalists again this year, that leaves 5 spots. And now you talk about a Joe Thomas or Darrelle Revis or Jari Evans, who are first-year eligible, guys like that, Dwight Freeney, James Harrison. It becomes extremely competitive. And I haven't even factored in yet to you that a guy like Steve Smith Sr., who I believe is a Hall of Famer, didn't even make it to the finalists a year ago. So if you want to talk about how competitive this will be, that's what it'll be. 2 other things I want to say on this real quick. Somebody who I was happy to see make it to this point was Henry Ellard, the former Rams wide receiver. People tend to forget him, but at the time that he retired, he was number 3 in the league in receiving yards and number 4 in catches. People tend to forget that about him, and he didn't play in the era where it was wide open offenses like there are now. But the other point I want to make real quick is this bias against specialists. Like, I personally thought Devin Hester last year should have gone in the Hall of Fame on first ballot. I think he was that transcendent as a returner. But traditionally, we Hall of Fame voters seem to have a bias against specialists. The guy I bring up this year, he was on 2 all-decade teams, not 1, but 2. He was a member of the NFL's 100th anniversary team. He was a 6-time first-team All-Pro player, and yet he didn't even make the cut to the semifinalists, and that's punter Shane Leckler. So these folks who want to say the guys who weren't on the field every down, those sorts of things, not that you're going to exclude them, but they aren't going to carry as much weight. I really think we need to reconsider this, because a guy who was as dominant as Shane Leckler was at what he did, and a guy who was as dominant as Devin Hester was at what he did, in my opinion, that's what the Hall of Fame is about. It is about dominance, impact, and consistency over a period of time.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.